Hello.
Yeah, that's your name.
Squirrels got me.
Big Jim.
Yeah.
Really cold and fun.
Cold and fun.
Cold and fun.
That's good that you think of it, because that's what deer hunting typically is cold and fun.
Yesterday morning, I'm glassing up on the pass, and I see these deer moving, and I'm like, ooh, there's some deer moving. All of a sudden, I just see this person just head down, just hauling ass, wearing shorts and a t-shirt with a pack on. And I'm like, is that Tard? My dad always talks about floating through the woods like the autumn breeze.
So Robert's
when you're
the
275 pounds, I don't know how you do that, but
the Freightliner. It's just like a creeper. You're just kind of up in the corner watching what's going on down there.
Yeah.
You know,
he's like,
he's up there slapping, pissing all over everything.
Is it warm yet?
How did you know the name of the actor?
I know.
How did you say his name?
Hervé Villechaize.
You know what pert near means.
If you know what pert near means and you live in America, you're a redneck too.
Welcome to the Log Talk Podcast, brought to you by Pert Near Outdoors.
It's that time of year. It's that time of year where we all need to be thinking about, do we have everything we need to hit the woods? Chances are you don't, and if you think you do, you probably could use some more. So how about you go over to thehuntworks.com and check out all the incredible products these guys are carrying. This is a great family, local store. Dan and Steve Dunnigan, a couple hardworking sumbitches. They are now carrying archery equipment, everything from bows to arrows to broadheads, quivers, you name it. So on top of all the great tree stands and box blinds that they're carrying, they're now a full-on archery dealer, and really recommend that you check these guys out for your next big purchase. Head over to thehuntworks.com to see what they've got for sale, or if you're local in the Rochester area, head on over to their store in East Rochester on Dispatch Drive and check them out. They are on social media, The Huntworks, and also online, like I said. And if you purchase anything online, you can use promo code FEEDIN'Em to get 5% off. And that's FEED, FEEDIN, INUM, 5% off. Feed 'em.
There we go. So we're live. Welcome, everybody. Episode 228, Pert Near Outdoors, with your guest and shunned host, Billy. Hello, Billy. How are you? So you're just coming from the closing on your new property, expanding your real estate empire.
Yeah, if an empire is 5 acres, then I guess I'm well on my way.
It's a start. All depends
I just
on
need to build some walls.
That's right. Depends on perspective, right?
Yeah. No, it's exciting. We I don't think we talked about it at all on here, but it's kind of been like a year in the making. There's been a lot of things moving and shaking over in the old Wyoming County, working with with the farmer that is a big dairy farm all around us, and so he purchased an estate. I don't know. I guess he closed maybe last July on an estate that had a house and a bunch of acreage and a barn and a pond. That the barn and the pond borders my in-laws, which we call the farm, where Brian and Dallas and I and their dad, where we all hunt and put all of our time and effort into that property there. So this opportunity kind of came out of nowhere, and Sarah and I wanted to we wanted to try to, if nothing else, get an opportunity to buy the barn and the pond bordering my in-laws. And
sure.
So that dream is now a reality, and we own that 3 acres, immediately adjoining, my in-laws and adjoining the farm property. So it's pretty awesome. We're very blessed and feeling grateful today.
Yeah, it has a big old barn on it and milk house and everything, silo. Yeah. So the old dairy farm, which actually, going back in the Kirsch family, your in-laws, wasn't that a Kirsch dairy farm? Didn't your father-in-law say his dad used to milk cows in that barn?
Yeah. So my father-in-law, one of the 4 houses he's lived on in his life on that road, he's only ever lived in 4 houses, and they all are within a quarter-mile stretch, which is pretty funny. But him and I were talking last weekend, and he was sharing with me stories about stuff that he remembers. I mean, he was a very young boy, but that was one of the barns that, was a dairy barn with that, maybe 20 cows or so. That was a normal size farm back then. And so that was one of the barns that the dairy operation on that road used.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, he said, I don't ever remember it looking the way that he explained it being, since I've been with Sarah since 2012 and been around there. The barn has looked the way it looks today. So,
right.
It's pretty cool. I don't know. I think it's been such a long process. We had a handshake agreement last June.
Yeah.
So this whole thing it's been a very long process. So it hasn't it'll probably sink in when I write my first tax bill. It'll probably sink in. but yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, good for you.
And,
Congrats.
out of that whole deal, Brian also he purchased his first piece of property. So Brian bought. It's 35 acres, roughly 35 acres, somewhere in there. So he's in the same boat. It's a pretty cool feeling. We both, obviously are homeowners, but to buy your first piece of recreational property is pretty awesome. Pretty awesome feeling, really.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and good for you both. I'm happy for both of you. It's a nice step, and you guys have, maintained through your father-in-law and through Brian's and Dallas's dad, Bob. You've maintained a good chunk of the woodlot there, and have really a beautiful property that I enjoy seeing your families all gather there in the summer and recreate at the pond, and side by sides and hunting together and ice skating and fishing, and it's just it warms my heart to see you guys have the kids growing up with such an outdoor lifestyle. A lot of kids don't get that nowadays, and I think that's really special.
Yep. And that's how we grew up. So it's even more awesome to be able to, we grew up with that. We could go right out the back door. You guys, the house we grew up in, it wasn't huge as far as acreage wise, but our neighbor had some property that he let Jimmy and I run rampant on. And then we had, the Honeoye Creek right in the backyard.
Yeah.
And that was it seemed like 1,000 acres to a 8-year-old kid, 10-year-old kid, whatever.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine what my kids, they probably don't think about it when you're that young, but that's all they know. I mean, we spend every waking minute that we're not doing something. If it's decent weather outside or it's winter like it's been, we're over there doing something. We're snowmobiling, we're sledding, we're looking for sheds, we're driving 4-wheelers. It's the best.
Yeah,
so,
it really is.
Yeah, I mean that's how you raised Jimmy and I, and it's I just want to be out there doing that stuff. Sarah's what do you want to do today? I'm I want to go to the farm. That's all I want to do. So,
yeah, that's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Well,
so that's the happening things in my life right now.
Yeah.
We're also, I don't want to. I mean, I guess just say it, but we're planning on trying to make a big move and move over there to the farm and switch houses with my in-laws and do that in the next 6 months. So that's a huge thing too. So there's a lot going on. So anybody that's where's Billy been? Why isn't he around? I'm not seeing him. My job is nuts with everything in the transportation industry with, approaching zero emission mandates. So my brain's wild with that. I got youth baseball. I'm running. I got, land purchases and moving houses, and life's pretty chaotic right now.
Yeah.
But
cutting firewood, planting trees. Yeah.
Yeah. Working, starting a side business to sell hunting blinds for the hardworking some bitches at the Hunt Works.
Yeah, that was another exciting thing here within the last few days for you and I. I dropped off after the Western New York Sports and Travel Expo. I loaded up a beautiful Banks blind on the trailer, and instead of taking it back to East Rochester, we brought it out to your neck of the woods and have it there at the farm where hopefully you can be a little satellite location for us and or for them. I say us. I don't really work for them. I volunteer for them. But so anyways, that was cool. Yeah, now you got a nice blind there and be able. Of course, you've got a bunch of them you've been using, but little expansion for the hunt works.
Yeah, it's a cool now that I have something that's mine. I can just say, hey, I'm gonna put a few of these in my barn and have one out on display. And if they have people in the area that want to buy one or need something delivered, I'll have the ability to do that, and it's mine to do that with. And nobody can tell me what I got to follow the rules,
right?
By the
zoning
town and the county,
but
yeah. But on the end of I don't have to ask somebody if I can put this in my barn.
Right. Yeah, feels good, huh?
That's a really cool feeling, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, yeah, speaking of which, I want to just take a quick minute and thank everybody that stopped by to see us out at the Hamburg show out there at the Western New York Sports and Travel Expo. We really had a great time there. We did a great job, put a lot of product out, I can tell you that. So we had very successful time, and the real success is meeting people, shaking hands, letting people know who we are and everything. And for the first time ever in my life, I sold a crossbow, and I was lucky. It was a perfect customer for me because he knew absolutely nothing about crossbows. He just moved here from Oregon and knew nothing about hunting in New York. He was retired military and was going to or is taking a leadership role there in West Valley at the government facility there. And so, really cool guy, retired Navy, neat to meet him. And he said, just tell me, I don't understand this, explain it. So anyways, by the time I was done, an hour and a half later, he walks out with a crossbow, a case, bolts, target. I mean, you name it, he had everything. And he said, I don't want to carry boxes to my car. He goes, can we take this all out and put it all together? And, the case for a crossbow, the soft case, is like a backpack, right? So we put everything in his case and put the bow in there, and he put his backpack on. And he's like, see you guys, thanks.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Very cool guy. I'll tell you a funny story. He's out here because he relocated from Oregon. His wife and the kids are still in Oregon waiting for him to get a house, get settled. They're coming at the end of the school year. So he says, I'm out here solo, and I'm not sure how my wife's going to feel about me, grabbing a crossbow. We don't even have a house yet, So he's like, let me give her a quick text. So he's texting her. He's like, hey, hon, how would you feel? I go, whoa, time out. He goes, what?
How is he not? Is he like a younger guy? Like,
yeah, he's probably your age. Yeah. Yeah. He's like your age. So I go, whoa. So he's like, what? I go, I wouldn't do that. And I go, you know what I would do? He goes, what? I go, I would pick up the crossbow and have me take a picture of you with the crossbow with the biggest gosh darn smile. And and then say, can I get one of these? So, and she's going to say, how can I say no to a smile like that? He starts laughing. Right. So he gives me the phone, and he picks up the crossbow. He has a nice smile. He's posing. I take a picture. He sends it to her. You know what her response was? How could I say no to a smile like that? He starts laughing.
Oh, my God.
He goes,
that's hilarious.
Damn, dude, you called it. He goes,
yeah, that's wisdom from a guy who has not told his wife about things he's buying or asked for permission and gotten the wrong answer. So, that's right. She probably.
Yeah. He was like high-fiving me. He's like, that was perfect, dude. Oh, I had so much fun there. It was great. The people were all great. And, I met some folks that follow along with Pert Near Outdoors. And, of course, like Aaron came, he popped in, and Dallas was there. And I'm trying to think if I saw any of the other guys. But, we had people stop in. I'm like, I know you from somewhere. And the guy's like, oh, I always see you at Shedfest, So, we had people that follow us at Shedfest, and but then also you have people that follow along with the Huntworks and have bought hunting supplies and blinds, etc. in the past. So nice time. Great to reconnect with everybody. We did not do the Syracuse show this year. Thank God, because that show got cut short with a blizzard, and they would have lost out big time financially on that. But so it was a great show, and I just wanted to thank everybody that stopped by. And anybody that follows me knows that, and Pert Near Outdoors knows that I put some posts up and stuff. It's a process, to load up and then drive up there and set up and do the sale and run the show and then take down and bring it all back. So, but it was a great time.
It
great
is
time.
Seeing the inside, how the sausage is made with you guys, starting on a Monday and assembling stuff and getting things organized and loading trailers. Like I'm not thinking that it takes that much to do it, but it's pretty amazing how much work it takes to get all that stuff up there.
Yeah. We started on the Monday prior, and then we took Tuesday off, and we worked Wednesday, all day Thursday, all day Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Got home about 8:30 Sunday night. We're back down to shop at 8 o'clock Monday morning, and we were done at noon. Walked out of there. So, you're looking, and like Steve said, it's this isn't his main pay the bills job. This is a thing that he and Dan and Dan's father, Tim, kind of do on the side. So, without like the friends that he has, like myself and Albert helped out, and without us guys and some of the other guys jumping in, he wouldn't be able to do this, do a show like this. Impossible. Yeah. Could never do it. So it was fun. We had a good time. Very, very good time.
That's good stuff.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to hit on just real quick, I want to give a plug for a podcast that I just posted out for Pert Near Outdoors, and it was from the Ethan Lucas, who's the host at Lucas Lounge podcast. And but he said this particular one was more appropriately named Lucas Lodge because it was about experiences down at the lodge. And it was Ethan, who's Don's brother, and then Don, and then their dad, Big Don, and then and Don's little boy, Connor. So very cute. It's called A Conversation with a 7-Year-Old. And, the little guy did great. It was awesome. And he was with Don for the first time when Don was able to harvest a deer with the boy with him. And so telling the stories, and then we also hear the story about Big Don's buck, which he got the buck of a lifetime this year down there. So, Ethan sent it to me and said, hey, if you want to put this out, it might be fun for your listeners. And, Don's become very much a part of our crew. And so I thought, I'm going to, wait till we get kind of caught up a little bit, and I'm going to drop that episode. So that's out there. And anybody wants to jump on, give that a listen. I think you will really enjoy it. Very nice job that Ethan did with that podcast.
Nice.
Yeah. So what else we got brewing?
Well, we wanted to kind of keep this short and sweet because I got a lot of stuff going on. I got to do a couple other things before the kids get off the bus here. But we wanted to chat about Shedfest and get some information out about that event and get people focused on back on us a little bit because we haven't been super regular to make sure we have a good successful event this year.
Yeah.
So we're doing it again this year, the last weekend of April. So it's going to be April 26th at Solitude Brewing in Lakeville, right at the north end of Canisius Lake. We did it there last year. Great location, phenomenal location, and hopefully have another good weather day like we had last year. So Cal Hasler, he's one of our gang. We've gotten to know him over the years through Pert Near and through hunting, and he's co-owners or owner of the brewery there. So that will be a great place for the event again. So everybody put that on their calendars. And this year, each year we've one of the big things about this event is it's a fundraiser.
Right.
In the end, it's a get together, it's a hangout, it's getting, people that we've all connected with through the podcast and through our community that we built over the last 5-6 years, plus, getting everybody together just for a hangout. So the last year, our fundraising, and you guys talked about this last few episodes, our money went towards last year towards Camp Good Days and Special Times, right? That
Rotary Sunshine Camp.
Rotary Sunshine.
Yep.
Sorry,
that's all right.
I get the two of them mixed up. So last year it was a totally different cause. We also did some side raffles that day that went to the benefit of the National Deer Association. So the Upper Genesee branch was there, as they always are, to support the event. We support them. So that's a great partnership. But this year we've got a little bit of a different and a more personal, intimate, what do you want to say?
A beneficiary of our event.
Beneficiary of our event, yeah. So one of our close family friends, very close, near and dear to our dear brother Tim, Jimmy and I's uncle, is Tyler Grant. Tragically passed away within the last month. Crazy, unexpected, young, healthy guy with a young, beautiful family. Passed away, shocking everybody, that knew him and in his community. And so we want to give back to the family. They've raised a bunch of money through a GoFundMe. He's got 5 kids and a wife, and everything that goes with that. Beautiful young family, and so that's what our efforts this year are going to go towards. Tyler's family, his wife Ashley, and the kids. So everything is going to get poured into that. I'm sure we'll have a couple side raffles that the Deer Association, if they're there, will do the same thing. But
sure, yeah,
this year we're putting our energy into Tyler, and remembering him and him and his wife. Why it is also so special to us is because they've been regulars and supporters of this event every year. Him and his wife have been at every one, and Tyler's a huge hunter and shed hunter, and him and Uncle Tim have been on many fun escapades, and the stories that you hear, are just, they leave you in stitches laughing. He was not very many people I know that are like him. He's one of a kind. So
he was.
So yeah, that's what the benefit's going to be. So what we're going to do this year, to kind of really highlight him in a subtle way, but those that know him it will mean a lot. Is we're going to take, and the logo is it's basically done, but I just need to facilitate getting an idea of putting it on apparel and things like that. But Tyler he always busted our chops. After we did the Shedfest shirt with the Chevy square body on it, he busted our chops because he's a Ford guy, and he has a nice Ford square body from, I don't know, would that be like the 90s vintage?
Yeah, probably.
Ford?
Yeah. 90s or 80s or 90s. Yeah, it's an oldie.
Yeah. So we've been, batting around ideas, and Jimmy and Tim brought it up. We should do something with his truck. We've done the truck theme before with the shed hunting, and that was people loved it. I love it. I mean, that's my favorite T-shirt is that Chevy square body shirt. So what we did was we took his truck. With the use of technology, we took his truck and converted it into a piece of artwork, an image that could be used and printed. And we subbed out the trucks. So it's going to be his Ford crew cab, F-250 square body, badass looking truck. It's going to be his truck on the shirt. And I put on the license plate his initials with a heart. So
yeah, that was a nice touch. Very nice.
Yeah, I love how it came out. I think it'll be. I think people will love it. It's just it's a badass looking logo, and it's such a subtle tip of the cap to him. And hopefully, we'll all wear those shirts or wear those hoodies or sweatshirts for years and years to come. And when we see that, we'll think about him.
Yeah.
That's the energy and the message behind our Shedfest event this year. So what the plan is for the apparel is that we're gonna. This is all happening. It's all within the last hours. We're gonna be working to get a store up, and I'll put a link on our Instagram and on our Facebook, and we'll email it out to past years where people have participated with Shedfest. We'll just try to get it out there as much as we can. A link for people to go to, and you can pick out what you want, whether you want a hoodie, a T-shirt, a sweat. We'll do a crew neck, a dry fit. We'll have a handful of different pieces, that people can buy whatever they want.
Nice.
And that'll be very easy, and hopefully it'll all operate very smooth. People can have a variety of different things they want to order to, and I'm thinking that's how we handle it. Make it simple, make it thoughtful, and we'll get that up and get people's orders in quick. So hopefully we can have a lot of that gear that people will either pick it up there or already have it ahead of time, which would be pretty neat. So
yeah, that'd be awesome for those that could get it. If we can get it set up in time, people can order their apparel and then wear it to our event. That would be awesome.
Yes.
And we'll talk about what we might do to maybe, I don't know if I want to say reward or incentivize people to get the apparel and wear it to the event. So we'll brainstorm that a little bit. And the other thing I want to just highlight for people to know that are hearing this and hearing the concept, we've always done T-shirts and things, and we try to break even on them by having the store. We can have our pricing set up so whatever you buy, and we're not left with a ton of inventory. And if we make some profit, any profit we make on this, again, will go to Ashley and the kids. Correct?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think that's awesome. We're off to a good start. Don't want to fail to mention that our good friends over at, 100 Proof Whitetail? What's Ben?
Yeah.
Yep. So I don't know if you want to speak about that a little bit, Ben, helping us out again this year.
Yeah. Ben, of course, is involved. Him and
Nate.
Him with his platform, him and Nate with their platform with 100 Proof of Whitetails. They've got their podcast. So, kind of a tag team effort, and we'll be working it together. And, anybody, I'll put the call out there, a few, I don't know if we did it last year, but I know a couple of years prior we had a bunch of the listeners and, friends of the podcast and friends of the community, create some prizes so that, the prizes that people were getting, we had some really cool things, some lamps, some neat little funny things that people make, or, syrup.
Yeah, that was
syrup things. That's just cool stuff.
That was year before last, and the last year that we were at Windy Brewing. I don't know if you remember, but I can't remember exactly how it was, but Tyler made some sort of an antler display. Tyler Grant did.
Yep.
And did you end up with that?
I won it, yeah.
But I
have it. It's out in my backyard with a couple deadheads on it.
Yeah. So it was really, really cool. But that was the year you had people bring in crafts or things they've made or gifts, and it was a really cool thing. Then we raffled them off, right?
Yep.
So
well, they were the prizes for each category of.
Oh
of
yeah,
the shed.
yeah, for the sheds.
They were the prizes, yeah. Yep.
So that'd be cool if we could do that again as well.
Yes. So anybody listening that hears this, I know Jim Wilkes. They do a lot of he made a fish out of antler sheds, and he had a lamp that he put up for a prize. So that sort of stuff. If anybody's interested, please let us know, and let us know what you got so we can kind of advertise it or know that we've got it coming, so we can have that be one of the prizes. So
right.
But yeah, that's
so I mean,
kind of high level on what our plans are for Shedfest.
Yeah, I mean, we're actually doing good that we're, you had the date locked down before the 1st of March, so we're actually off to a good start as far as having some time for planning and, lots of time to get the word out about the event. So we'll have more coming, right, in the future episodes here, but, and in our social media. So we'll have more coming on that, and still very much, even though we got the framework laid out, still very much in the planning stages. So looking forward to that. We'll probably reach out to the New York State, the New York Sportsman's, that newspaper, and get on with Dan Ladd on his podcast again. And
Outdoor News is what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's why it was escaping me. Thanks, Bill. So
yeah, it's your retirement. Your brain is slipping.
Yeah, it's just gone. Hey, the other thing I don't know if you knew this, I think you did, but Kale is expanding. The Solitude Brewing is growing the interior space. Are you aware of that?
I did hear that, yeah.
Yeah. So Even if we don't have a good weather day, lots of indoor space there. He took over the business next to him, and as I go, I think it'll be done. They're working very diligently on it. Every time I go by, the crews are in there working. So, what a place he's got going there. That's going to be awesome.
Good food too.
Food's incredible.
That was the big rave about last year's event, was that people were kind of blown away by the quality of the entrees and the food that people were ordering. It wasn't just no knocks on anybody else and how they operate their business. Yeah. It's a legitimate kitchen with legitimate
chef with a chef.
Chef with things being made that's whoa, that's a nice looking burger or chicken sandwich or whatever. So it's a great experience. Yeah.
Well, looking forward to it, and I know it sounds like you may have arrived at your destination.
Yeah, I'm changing into my work clothes so I can go rip staples out of a floor so we can put a new floor in this weekend. So that's what I'm doing.
All right. Well, I'll let you get to it. Thanks for carving out a little time to jump on, and we'll try to do this again next week.
Yeah, we're gonna try to for everybody to know Dad and I talked this week, and just definitely want to try to make it more of a priority of there's just a lot of things going on, a lot of cool stuff to talk about, and want to stay more try to make an effort to be a little more consistent about putting out an episode here or there instead of waiting too long. And I miss doing this. I miss having these conversations. I miss getting on here and connecting with everybody. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we look forward to it. And just so you know, I haven't had a chance to tell you, but I was messaging with Jimmy Farrell, and he was wondering if he's got a royalty check coming because he goes, I understand I was talked about on the last podcast.
Well, I want to know where our commission check is for all the frickin' skulls he did. That's the bullshit. Okay, so, if he wants to play that game.
Yeah, so him and I
he doesn't even know how to listen to the podcast, let alone he's going to come after us and want money for us using his name and likeness. That's the bullshit.
The only reason he knows about the podcast is because his son Charlie listens. So,
right.
Which, by the way, Jimmy, there was a buck that a bunch of guys were after, big bucks out there where he hunts, same place Uncle Tim and Uncle Chris and them guys are. But anyways, he sent me a picture, and he found both halves of the shed.
Really?
Yes, very nice buck. So I said, you're going to have to bring that to Shedfest. He's like, oh, I'll be there. Charlie's coming home, and we're going to be there. So.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
So I also invited him to do an episode with me, which is what I started out to tell you. So Big Al and I are going to, and maybe Chico, we're going to meet up at Jimmy Farrell's and do a little episode with him here on shed hunting and other such escapades. So that ought to be fun.
Do you think he would tell his fireball story?
I bet he would.
I really hope he would.
Yeah. So
that's a great story.
Yeah. So I invited him. I said, well, if you really want your likeness on our podcast, and you need to be a guest. And so he's like, I'll do it. So we'll get with him, and that ought to be between him and Al and Chico. That ought to be fun.
You know what you need? Who else you need to go and sit down with you and your co-host Big Al is you need to get with Ange when he comes home.
Oh my God, I know.
It would just be hilarious because he's such a character.
Yep. Yeah.
And he always bitches that we don't get him on the podcast. We use his buck and everything, and
yeah.
We don't give him the platform. Same thing. These guys, these older gentlemen, they get offended when you don't ask them to be.
Yeah, they want to be on. So yeah, we'll get him on.
They're a bunch of snowflakes.
When he comes back from his respite in Arizona, then we'll get him on.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, hey, you go pull some staples and good luck with that flooring job, and we'll get this out. Plan on putting this out on Monday, I think the 16th, which is the day they'll start building the addition on my new barn. So
sounds good. Fun. It would also be entertaining if you could put a podcast together with some of your coyote crew that you've become a part of.
Yeah. Yep.
You should do that too.
Do another dog hunting one. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay.
Until then, we'll just keep feeding them. Love you too. See you.